Hey, what's up everyone? As promised, I am doing another weather update video on this current developing storm system moving across the United States. Ice storm, snow, and flooding after freeze-up is going to threaten much of the central and eastern United States. A multifaceted storm will jam a thaw, heavy rain and flooding, as well as ice, snow, and a freeze-up into the northeastern United States to end this week. So the biggest threat is on Friday through Saturday. The storm may bring travel disruptions throughout the region. Some areas will bring a lot of rain first, so they'll be at risk of flooding, while others will face power outages and property damage related to freezing rain and ice, followed by snow and a freeze-up. Rapid thaw and heavy rain to then raise the risk of flooding. Rounds of heavy rain and fog will be the triggers for airline and ground disruption delays from Virginia to coastal Maine. 2 main rounds of rain are likely in the coastal Northeast as well, according to AccuWeather senior meteorologist. 1 round will develop near and west of the Appalachian Mountains during Thursday night. The Appalachian Mountains will experience this Thursday night and spread eastward on Friday, so basically from Tennessee all the way to the East Coast. In the Tennessee Valley, as you can see right there, it starts out on Friday as an icy mix after the rain. The rain freezes and this icy mix takes place right in this area here. All of this area. This is where the rain moves out. This will probably be Friday morning when the rain moves out, and then the ice moves in, and the snow begins behind it. So, definite tricky conditions. Tricky conditions. The second round of rain, and risk of major travel disruption is forecasted to spread northeastward with the main storm from Friday night into Saturday morning. Now, back toward the Appalachian Mountains, there may be a less defined separation between the 2 main batches of rain. Some meteorologists say that some motorists may encounter flooded roadways. The risk of urban flooding will not be limited to areas with existing heavy snow cover. So then the rain returns to the East Coast. March-like temperatures that we're experiencing right now that feel like like spring outside. Literally, it feels like spring. Yesterday reached nearly 70 degrees. The same will be for today, if not higher than 70. Then the melting snow, and then you have ice jams and local flooding and areas of fog and freezing fog. Then the ice and snow take place. The thaw may be rapid enough, combined with drenching rain, to lead to ice jams in some of the rivers in the region. Low river levels at the onset of the thaw and storm may allow ice jam flooding to be contained to low-lying, unprotected areas along the streams. There is also a risk of roof collapse in New England, where a couple of feet of snow remains in the heavy rain. On top of that heavy rain, so it adds more weight. Flat roofs will be the greatest risk of collapse. Storms coincide to bring a big change to ice to snow. Following a surge of warmth with rain and heavy rain, progressively colder air will invade the region while this storm is still in progress. As stated, many areas are currently in a winter weather advisory, which will likely change over to a winter storm warning. The cold air will then catch up with the rain and cause a change to ice and snow from the Appalachians to the eastern Great Lakes and St. Lawrence Valley. Motorists on the highways from West Virginia and West Maryland to western and northern Pennsylvania, much of upstate New York, and western and northern New England will be at risk for getting caught up in an ice storm and a snowstorm during Friday night and Saturday. Now, the current conditions and placing of this snowstorm, as you can see from right here, is expected to be from Tennessee all the way up into Maine, the northeastern corners of the United States, and up into Canada. Friday night into Saturday, preceded by ice, difficult travel, plans will be altered. So this includes portions of all of the interstates listed right here that I've circled. The colder air, followed by ice, then snow, will creep in from the north and west. Temperatures will then plunge into the east. We're expected to be around 19 degrees, teens for a high next week, being in the 30s, 40s, 50s earlier in the storm, and 60s, nearly 70, and then dropping. A period of dangerous sleet and freezing rain can occur anywhere from the Appalachians on north and west in the region. There is the potential for ice to accrue on trees. Ice accumulation potential can occur on trees and power lines to a thickness of 1/4 of an inch or greater in this area. So the area circled here could receive 1/4 of an inch of ice. So from the Tennessee Valley area all the way up to the very top of the East Coast could receive up to 1/4 inch of ice. Treacherous travel from Friday to Friday night, rapid freeze-up, power outages, and tree damage are expected. So please be safe. Since a fast progression to cold air is now expected, the period of freezing rain and ice may be held to a few hours, the period of freezing rain, that is, which may restrict how much ice adheres to elevated surfaces. Even 1/4 of an inch of ice, 0.25 inches, may weigh down trees and power lines to the point of causing sporadic power outages. That's all it takes, is 1/4 inch or less of ice to create power outages and downed power lines. However, where several inches of snow falls and then clings to these surfaces after a period of freezing rain and ice, a disaster may unfold in some communities. Because after all of this occurs, this is the snowfall expected to be seen across the areas on top of that ice. So that weighs power lines down and sticks significantly, can cause major damage, power outages, and issues, significant issues. 1 to 3 inches in the light blue. In the darker blue, the medium blue, 3 to 6 inches are expected, and 6 to 12 inches in the darkest shade of blue. Locally, areas could receive up to 18 inches or higher. More than a foot of snow can fall from the swath of part of central and northeastern Ohio to northern Maine and New Brunswick. Cities that may be blanketed from the central areas, by the way, of snow all the way up to the East Coast. They include Cleveland, Buffalo, Montreal, Caribou, Maine, and many other areas. Recent warmth may cause some of the snow to partially melt near the ground and then clinging to the trees and power lines as it melts, and then the problem is when it freezes and then snows on top of it. A freeze-up is to follow the storm. People should expect travel conditions to range from poor to extremely difficult and very dangerous from Saturday to Saturday night in this storm's wake. So from Friday through Saturday night, it will be dangerous for many areas of the United States. Even where more snow or sleet occurs and spares some areas from the heavy accumulations of freezing rain and ice, the temperatures plunge in the wake of the storm will make it very difficult to remove all of the wintry accumulation from the area, roads, and sidewalks. And they're not putting much salt and brine on the roads because of the rain ahead of this system, the second and third system, so the salt and brine would not do any good. So these are the related articles there. An AccuWeather meteorologist recommend that crews and property owners remove the wintry precipitation promptly before temperatures plummet. Okay, anyway, airports and other areas will have to be in cleanup mode. Areas across the country will be dealing with patches of ice and then snow and major devastating, possibly devastating conditions. Temperatures in the highs will be in the teens, the 20s, and 30s across the central to northern United States. And a new storm may spin up next week. AccuWeather meteorologists are monitoring the potential for another winter storm during the middle part of next week. That storm may upload heavy snow across the interior mid-Atlantic and New England, and perhaps a combination of rain and snow along the coast once again. So keep an eye out for this storm. Try to have deicer on hand and possibly something to scrape the ice off of your vehicle windshield. Have plenty of fuel, as I mentioned earlier. Have plenty of gas in your vehicles, or at least try to. Try to continue to start your vehicles in case of emergency, in case they don't want to start and the batteries might die. Try to have a portable jump starter on hand, which I do, similar to the Anchor jump starters or the Shoemaker jump starters / phone chargers. Have portable flashlights, just portable lights on hand. Headband lights come in handy. The portable jump starters do come in handy as well. And backup power supplies. So also have plenty of blankets in your vehicles if you are out. Try to have plenty of blankets, warm clothing, coats, things of that nature just in case. Pillows, you never know what you might need. Just basic knowledge, just pretty much common knowledge, that just common sense to have supplies on hand. Kitty litter, cat litter in case you need to use it for the tires. That's a help for ice as well. And salt if you need, and things of that nature to try to minimize something, to see if you can have something to scrape the windshields off if you don't have deicer on hand. But just try to have supplies to minimize the treacherous conditions to yourself. And these are the conditions that are progressing across the United States right now, from central to the northeastern areas. So it starts out as rain, and then ice, and then snow. They do expect damage. They do expect power outages, and they do expect very treacherous conditions. Power lines and trees possibly down because of the frozen rain. The rain freezes, snow falls on top of it. That can break and snap power lines. Power lines can come down, trees can fall, limbs and things of that nature. Damage can occur. Be safe. Just wanted to let you know ahead of time and list some supplies that might be helpful to have on hand during these types of scenarios. And letting you know that another one could be playing out as early as next week for the United States once again. So I'll be keeping an eye on this storm and these multiple systems as they move through. I'll try to give you updates if I can. And hopefully all goes well, and when we have to go out in this, it won't be too bad, and we can be as safe as possible. Anyway, much love, stay safe, and I wish you all the best. Peace. Bye.